everybody, and welcome to Adrift in Aldhalor, our weekly actual play D&D show set in our homebrew world of Aradun. Our music is licensed through musicbed.com, and occasionally another one that I don't remember because we don't use it anymore.
Syrinscape?
No, I was talking about the other place.
TabletopAudio?
No, no, we used to license through another service, and we don't use it anymore, and I don't remember what it was called.
Okay.
It's just Musicbed now. But our Ambience usually is from Syrinscape or TabletopAudio. Yes.
I forgot that. Didn't realize they were different.
They are different because one is through a program and one is licensed music.
I got it. Yeah.
We do use Bardly to distribute the music amongst ourselves. Check them out. Anyway, Shannon.
Yeah, that's
What's
me.
up?
What's up? How's life? Tell me about life, Sean.
We don't have time for that. You're gonna have to tell us about our partners.
All right, fine. I'll do that. Also, for my fellow players here, if you didn't hit record yet, do that because I nearly forgot.
Oh, Jeebus.
Yep.
Oh, Jeebus is right.
All right. So
Angus
now that we
part
got
doesn't matter
that,
as much for the audio recordings.
Let's talk about the partners. We're going to start with Arcane Spectacles. Roll for initiative and check out Arcane Spectacles, your haven for all things TTRPG. Their personalized D&D themed Christmas ornaments will be a critical hit under your tree or anywhere else in your home because they're not just for the holidays. And their top-notch tabletop RPG accessories will give you an edge in battle. Customize their ornaments with your party's names to show off your adventuring party like never before. Don't miss out on your chance to level up your tabletop experience with Arcane Spectacles. Visit them at arcanespectacles.com. Next, we have Underground Oracle Publishing. They are a best-selling, Annie-nominated TTRPG publisher building new and exciting settings for the cipher system of every genre you can imagine. Each setting includes everything you need to explore its unique world, including lore, species, descriptors, foci, creatures, ciphers, artifacts, and all the rules you need to play. Their current focus and Kickstarter success is Harrow the Blighted Plain, a crystal punk fantasy setting filled with fungal oases, massive sand seas, and long-buried magitech. For as little as $3, you can join their Patreon and help shape Harrow in each of the worlds that they create. Next, we have Edward Yorke, or Eddie. Eddie is our character artist. He's an illustrator based in the UK who makes art for games and books. To visit his portfolio and get in contact with him, visit eyorke.com. Last but not least, we have 1985 Games. They create affordable, accessible, high-quality accessories for D&D and other TTRPGs. Sean uses their NPC cards, those lovely items there, and they're awesome. And so if you want to buy or purchase, same things, purchase any of their awesome wares, you can use the code. Yes, acquire goods. Use the code Paradice Prod for 10% off your order. Last couple of things here. If you aren't already in our Discord, join us on Discord. We would love to have you. Sean writes us lovely one-pager recaps for each and every session. So it's a quick way to catch up. We also love to talk about our story on there. So yeah, come join us if you're not already there. And join us in all the other places on the social medias. Mm-hmm. Not only Twitch or YouTube, wherever you might be watching this, but Twitter, Discord, I already said, Instagram, and TikTok. Yeah.
Do you mean X?
I just saw that it changed, and I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I do too.
I hate it.
But anyway, check us out on X.
Oh, God. Ugh.
But I do want to say thank you so much, Raiders, for coming on in from Fumble Folks. We're just getting started jumping into our recaps, so
welcome.
Stick around. Hope you enjoy a little bit of our RP and D&D. Should be fun. All right, let's bring everyone on.
Let's do it.
All right. So, if we could get a music shift, we'll jump right into the recap. So, Last we met in the hamlet of Willowgrass in Asia. Our adventurers crafted a plan to ambush the bandits and rid the region of their scourge. After convincing the townsfolk of the plan, our party set their trap, found their preparation, rewarded them. They captured half the bandits alive, including one of their leaders and a lieutenant. But at what cost? The Dragonborn leader drove her sword through the chest of Sal, Septimus's automaton companion, triggering a bout of rage from the usual calm Septimus. He dashed to finish the job on this bandit with a fiery mace, but Fearn stopped him. As Septimus grieved and refused aid from any of the others, a voice began to creep into the party's minds as the torches around them went out and a darkness swallowed the stars above. This voice gnawed at the party's insecurities as shadow creatures emerged to attack them. The party leapt into action against these shadows as the voice continued to taunt them. But fortunately, Saskia took a moment to focus. With her Devil Sight feature, found the source of the voice. It was Dalen, the Shadowmancer, floating high above the Windy Mercado, watching the battle below. What you know of this shadowy figure is only that they are a liaison to the bandits from some mysterious employer. The party split up at this point, with some fighting the shadows on the streets and others pursuing Dalen up on top of the roof. Septimus and Bruce fought off the shadows only for them to rise back up again using the corpses of slain bandits. The blacksmith's daughter rushed out to help them as the rest of our heroes surrounded Dalen and bombarded him with bolts and magic. This onslaught led to him abandoning the fight, claiming the hamlet to be a failed experiment and these backwoods adventurers a waste of time. With his departure, finally the party could take a breath. Septimus, with the help of the blacksmith's daughter, carried Sal's body to the workshop to begin trying to repair him. She expressed awe at the machine's sacrifice to protect people, as her father had raised her to fear Machina. Elsewhere, Fearn, Sass, and Jacquette interrogated the bandit Bruce trapped in the basement of the Windy Mercado. In his captivity, the bandit triggered some sort of wild magic surge within himself and expressed pain and exhaustion. He said he could not think straight after his episode. Jacquette lied and implied the party worked for Mr. Greaves, a dangerous and mysterious crime lord back in the port city of Hyvin. The bandit folded at this implication and promised to tell them whatever they wanted in the morning so long as they let him go. They agreed and imprisoned all the remaining bandits here in the basement. As the stars returned to the sky outside without Dalen's dark presence, and the folk returned to their homes feeling a new sense of security. In the deep hours of the night, Septimus worked. Fearn visited and tried to console him by offering Sal a friendly name, an honorific for warriors in Fearn's culture. Septimus refused and asked to be left alone. Back in the basement, Sass, while watching over the unconscious bandits, received a cryptic visit from her warlock patron. This creature offered to fix all of her problems, more so in the tone of cleaning up her messes, as it said, in the form of a small, almost rotting fish with no eyes except one human eye resembling Sass's missing eye. The creature began to maniacally drone on about a dead man walking in Hyvin, having to clean up all of Sass's messes to keep her happy. But before long, this conversation ended as the vision faded as Fearn relieved Sass of her watch. He told her she needed to focus and let this spirit go. Sass only responded with, "You know what the ocean says," and went to go rest as Fearn took watch. At this point, the party all rested for the evening, Septimus having passed out while working on Sal. But you can all awake the next morning. Septimus, you'll probably wake up a little later. but everyone will roughly be awake at around the same time in the morning, probably around 7 or 8 a.m. Unless anyone is opting to sleep in further, which I know sometimes Bruce does. But yeah, you know, a new day has come. You awake with a lot of aches and pains in your bones, but that long rest has restored, and you feel vital, and you feel almost like you're like, I don't know, level 6 or something in life. What would you all like to do?
It's morning time.
It is morning time. It's about 8 a.m.
I would like to making my way downstairs, walking fast, looking around for Ayla.
Alicia.
Alicia. I was like,
Alicia.
it's some
Alicia.
stupid version, not stupid version, but some version of
Lisa.
Alisa.
Yeah. You can find Alicia. Absolutely, she's already down there. She is currently serving a little bit of porridge to Tora and Davin, who are down there.
Good morning, everybody. Can I get some tea and I don't know, get some bread available as well?
You see Alicia rushes over. As you can see, Tora gives you a smile and a nod, and Davin is just kind of face down, not really noticing you. But yeah, she'd easily rush over and say, of course, get you whatever you want. Anything for the heroes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Where? Don't go that far. Davin, how you feeling there?
Davin is, as you walk over to Davin, you see Tora kind of like, as you're walking over, puts a hand on his hand, almost like not almost, but a sign of support, as you ask this. And you see, he looks up and you can see bags under his eyes. They're very bloodshot. Despite how ragged that part of him looks, he looks a lot better than he did, though. His skin is a lot less clammy and has more life to it. Less pale. He looks like anyone who's kind of in recovery only after a few days, less than a few days, really. As you just sort of look up and like kind of his hand is shaking as he puts the wooden spoon back in the bowl, and he'll just look up and just say, "Better than I was. Every day is a new challenge."
Yeah, time heals most wounds. I know that's not what you want to hear right now. Most of us are impatient, including myself. And I'm gonna, with that, do you want a lollipop?
What?
You ever have a lollipop? Sweet candy?
And he just like weirdly looks to Tora for like permission almost, even though he's a grown man and it's just his sister. And she just kind of nods to him. What flavor do you give him? Push to talk, buddy.
Strawberry. He's got strawberry today. And when I give it to him, I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration.
Excellent.
To try to...
Yeah, absolutely.
And some people are too impatient to wait for time to heal their wounds. So there you go.
What does this kind of like look like or sound like? I almost imagine you're imbuing the lollipop with the lesser restoration spell.
It's just gonna. Honestly, I don't really want there to be an effect. I want him to just put the lollipop in his mouth, and like it might in his head, it might be placebo or whatever. Yeah. But he's not gonna, I think, realize it was me that like cast the spell. I'd rather just be under the table.
I'm 100% absolutely okay for that to be that way. You see, he takes the lollipop and he pulls the wrapping off, and he looks to Tora, and she just sort of says, "Strawberry was your favorite." right? And she's kind of like, she doesn't know what she's doing either. She's also like a young person. Like, she doesn't know how to take care of him really. And he goes for it, and you just see, like, at first he's just like, he's looking around, kind of moving it to side, and before he's just like, and he just is nodding his head and looks to you, and then he just like pulls it out really fast and just looks at you and goes, "These are really good."
Right? They got them in Halcyon. Let me figure out in my notes what town it was, or which store it was, but anyway, I recommend a visit at some point.
You would have gotten these at the Whistling Mountain Potion Company in Hyvin.
Thank you. I could not get to my notes fast enough.
In their candy section.
Well, I'm glad that you two are doing well and feeling better, and get some food in you. Are you guys ready for the festival this evening?
You see now Tora takes over the conversation. She just says, "Of course, we're grateful that it's going to be happening again, and honestly, we've decided just to stay in town until the festival itself. Alicia's offered to let us stay. And then we'll get home and start to piece things back together. You know, we need to actually work the farm and maybe be a little more thorough when we're hiring farmhand this time."
Yeah, that's a good call. Background checks. Important. Alicia, oh, is she nearby?
She's by this point she came back with tea and bread. And by this point also anyone else could have walked down into the main area.
Yep. I think I slept outside, so I'll just like bang open the door looking terrible and just kind of shuffle in and sit down next to Bruce.
Oh, hey Saskia, how's it going?
Hi.
You got
What?
dirt. All right.
Thank you.
It was really just, I imagine it was really just like your hair was out of place and
Yeah.
you thought it looked like dirt.
You thought it, yeah.
You're really sweaty too.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's... Never mind, it's salty. Oh, wait, that's seawater? No. Sweat.
Little of both. I always smell like seawater.
Where's everybody else's?
I don't know.
You guys look over, and during this conversation, Jacques has come down, taken the tea that Bruce ordered, and sat down at one of the other tables, and is just leaning there. Looks like he's like nursing a hangover, but it's just that he's up way too early. I'm more of a I'm more of an Oxlandish morning person myself, or no, Oxlandish fog person, but you know. No, what's the capital of Oxland?
Capital of Oxland? Cairdolan.
Cairdolan mist myself.
They don't have a lot of Cairdolan mist. They don't have a lot of Gwenvillery teas over here.
It took me a very long time to get there, but I hope people appreciate what it
It's beautiful stuff.
Nice.
Fion's probably still watching the prisoners, so I'm not sure he's coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I bet you, I imagine, Fionn, you're probably going to be down there waiting until everyone else comes down, unless it takes them too long, and then you might go up and get them.
Right.
You're a prick. Can you order me one?
Oh, you didn't order this for me?
It's okay. I've got plenty of tea. No?
Yeah,
she immediately goes back and grabs a tray and puts the whole kettle on the tray and brings out cups for everyone.
At least he just needs to know he's a fucking asshole sometimes. Reliable one.
You need to watch your tea better. What can I say?
Well, I mean, around town, everyone's big fan of this one. She points to Jacques. You don't get a lot of
he just kind of shrugs.
Rousing speeches in these parts. days.
Where's Septimus?
Oh, he's. I heard that he's across the street, blacksmith's.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him some breakfast.
All right.
How long are the prisoners? Is that the right word for this?
Right. We'll be quick. They won't stay very long. Don't worry.
I think we should speak with the Onomancer about what he would prefer to do with them, and I assume we may be taking them back to Hyvin with us.
Sure.
Oh.
Well, what, you want to just let them go?
Isn't that what we promised? At least one of them?
I mean, you make a good point. I just didn't think that far. That's all. I didn't know what to do with them once we had them.
I mean, we could kill them all. One of us really likes doing that.
How about we?
It's too fucking early for this, Jacquette. No.
Oh, it's never too early. You started it. It's all you could talk about.
And I'm finishing this conversation. We're done.
Can we not do this here?
Yep, nope, not doing it. Fuck off. And I'm going to fight Fear.
Well, no, before you leave. No, before we leave, I do want to talk about what's going to happen next.
Okay.
No, wait. Let's talk about what we're going to do, unless you want to come with us, Bruce, because I thought that we might be able to use some of your skills.
Yeah, I could come.
So I'll explain what I was thinking on the way to Fear, as Jacquette gets up and chugs the rest of his tea and...
I didn't even get mine.
Gotta start the day early, my friend. Come on.
Asshole.
And as we leave to exit, Jacquette will explain. So, as Sess had pointed out, I did promise one of them that we'd let him go. And that's the one I intend to question. But when we pull him out of prison, I thought it might be best if we leave the rest of the prisoners alone. And maybe listen in? Is that something you might be able to do, Bruce?
I don't know if I have that capability. I
can make you invisible.
Oh,
yeah. I'm sorry. Saskia, or you could just go invisible if you want, Sass.
Yeah, actually, that could work, and I could just communicate directly with Saskia from afar, if you want to do that.
It's up to you. I can be invisible. You can be invisible. We can all be invisible. Well, no, we can't all be invisible. But are we all invisible, really? Isn't that right?
I think... Wait, hold on. So, of the two of you, if you were to take a vote, which one of you thinks you're stealthier?
That's not really a question. There's a right answer and a wrong answer.
I'd play rock, paper, scissors. Or, whatever the fuck it is.
Parchment shears.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. And Halcyon, never mind. We have rock, paper, scissors.
No. The point being is that we, while I'm questioning the individual, because let's be real, I'm the only one here who knows how to interrogate the prisoner, Saskia or yourself can be in there listening to the other prisoners to hear what they have to say when they think there is no one listening.
I can do it. Unless you really want to, Bruce. It's up to you. I don't really care.
No, so the reason I was asking is just for, I'm not very stealthy.
But with when you're invisible, you're even stealthier.
Right.
Well, you can't be seen, but you can still have loud footsteps and, accidentally move things that people can see. There's
Bruce,
a lot of elements besides
or no?
just being...
Saskia, you can go. I'll just talk to you from afar.
Right. Wonderful. Excellent. Great.
All right, so we go in there, we listen to them, and you guys interrogate from afar, but what's the plan from there?
Just to gather information. We have no idea what's been going on here. All we know is that there's the three leaders. We don't know where the large man with the glasses is. Or was he small? the strange man. He was very strange, right? We can all agree with the glasses, the mustache, well dressed, but just something about him was weird.
Yeah, no, I didn't see him.
And then there's the Dragonborn, and then the Shadow Man. Nightman.
What about the other one?
Bounty Hunter?
Yes, that. Yeah, what about that person?
I spent a decent amount of time with that lad the other day. From what I understand, he probably cut his losses and ran once he saw that there was no more money to be made.
Why didn't you go with him?
Because the money to be made was here in town. When we return to Hyvin, we'll be, at least a sigil regarded as heroes.
Sigil.
That too.
Yeah, you want that.
And we're gonna get the highest. We're gonna get the highest pay. Of course, I want to be called a hero. Don't you?
Not really. It doesn't really matter to me.
So then, why? You people, I don't understand any of you.
Fearn, you can hear them talking at the top of the stairs, basement.
Yeah, I think Fearn would bust through the front door at some point, and just not break it down, but open it very quickly. And he's he's sweaty, he's been working out this morning, and he's just been hearing people chatter inside without him. And he's like, Are you all done gossiping? Got work to do.
I don't know that we were gossiping. I don't think any of us were talking about other individuals through hearsay, but...
Well, what were you talking
I'm ready.
about?
We were talking about being branded called heroes when we returned to Hyvin.
And how to handle your situation down there.
Yes, so Joffrey kind of pulls him up a little more to explain. Did you have something to say, Bruce?
So what do you want me to do?
Oh, well, I thought that you could use your sense to hear better, but
no, I could just kind of see through walls and...
No, that's not as cool as I thought. My apologies. So I guess if you want to go help Septimus or do whatever it is you do, you can do that.
Bruce, I just remembered, if you want to come in with me, I can make us both invisible. I want to be alone. But if you want to go be with
If you want my
Septimus,
company, I'll gladly.
It's up to you. It's up to you. If you're
I'll
nervous or...
I'm very nervous, is what...
Okay. All right. That's probably not the best. You go check on Septimus.
Okay.
Yeah, if you two don't mind, I think I'll step out of the interrogation room as well. I think I've had enough of yelling and punching people for a while.
Okay. All I need you to do, Fearn, is act tough and look tough. You don't have to punch anyone. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah, but
So
usually when I'm sitting there and listening to them, not answer your questions, it gets me frustrated,
So learn some fucking self-control. Jesus, or
I'm showing restraint by not being in the room.
I swear to the moon, you people frustrate me to no end.
You took my tea this morning.
Why'd you take his tea?
Tits, man.
So as you all kind of are frustrated with each other, as Sass is gonna, I'm assuming, go invisible at this point. Fearn is going to separate himself from the situation for a little bit of self-care. And Bruce is gonna go check on Septimus.
Bruce is gonna first stop at to get breakfast for Septimus.
Absolutely. Easy enough to do. Okay, so not Fearn, sorry. Jacquette, you descend these steps and you can kind of first of all, now that there's been this many people just kind of in this basement like this, it smells horrible in there. Just absolutely horrible. Just body odor and just people. And you come down and they're all roughly waking up right now. They're sweaty, from the heat down here, well, it's not super hot, but they're just sort of like, a lot of them seem to be kind of in that feverish state after recovering from having the shit kicked out of them. Yeah, you see your guy there, Reardon, with the green eyes and the sort of long-faced features. He seems much more rested than he did the other day, and he's just kind of staring forward. And like as soon as he sees you, he kind of smiles, a toothy grin.
As Jacques walks in, he kind of kicks something near the door that would make like a loud noise, like a box or like a pail or something, and he goes, "Wakey, wakey, everybody! It's time for your No, actually, sorry, we don't have enough food for you all. But wake up."
Yeah, and you would see anyone who was still asleep or half in and out of it. You can see kind of all of them open their eyes and kind of like some of them squeeze them shut and kind of like try to reach for their face but can't because they're tied up. You hear the loud grumbling of the Dragonborn in kind of like the back corner. You know, you imagine you had to tie her up the most because she was the strongest, largest, and had wings. Like I even imagine like a lot of them are probably tied with ropes. She's the one who's like tied with metal chains.
Yeah, and Jacques kind of goes around checking some ropes and stuff, making sure everyone's secure as he's like meandering his way over to Raiden.
Yep, and as you do that, you can see like they're all still secured. You can tighten some of them that might be a little loose from wear, but they were right and true, passed out all night, recovering from their beating. They had to take the longest of rests.
A full 8 hours, no watch involved.
Yep, exactly. And you can see some of them like kind of sneer at you. Some of them are scared of you when you come up to them. The Dragonborn completely kind of ignores you, and she's just sort of staring past you towards the exit. Her mind's probably calculating more than the rest of them.
Right, as he gets over to her to check, Jacques like kneels down to like yank on the chains to make sure they're tight, and then follows her gaze and go, "Yeah, you could probably make it." Giving her a side eye. "You're the strongest, probably the fastest. You could if you tried. Of course, we'd have to kill you then, and I don't really want to do that."
She just sort of growls and stares you down. You could tell she wants to say, like every now and then her lip will curl as if she wants to say something, but she keeps shut.
And Jacques just gives a really bastardly grin and smacks her on the side of the face a little as he gets up and walks over to Raiden.
As you do that, like as you turn and walk back, you can like hear the sound of like some like sparks. And like you turn back, you can see she's like so mad about this that you can see like the starting of a breath weapon that she's suppressing in that moment. As she's looking up at you, you can just kind of see a little bit of smoke come out of her nose.
I would have.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say I'm invisible, but I would have posted up by the door. Sitting on like a crate or something.
Give me a stealth check with advantage.
Okay.
When she does this, Jacques kind of goes, "Oh, so scary."
18.
Okay. As far as you can tell, no one looked to you. No one really turned their eyes up. You're stealthed as far as you can tell.
Great.
Okay.
And then with enough mocking of the Dragonborn, Jacques finally goes to Raiden, picks him up, unties, and like with the hand still behind back goes, "All right, my friend, it's time we do some business. Let's go away from any prying ears. We don't want your friends to know what you're going to spill, do we?"
And you hear the Dragonborn's growl becomes more audible then. You could tell it's not for you. She's trying to intimidate Reardon.
Yeah.
And he kind of like whispers under his breath as you like imagine you have his arms behind his back. It's just like, "Come on, man, give me a little bit of subtlety."
And after that, Jacques just kind of yells over his shoulder as he's pushing him out. Oh, don't worry. If he says what we want to hear, he's free to go.
That deal better stand for all of this nonsense.
Oh, please, if nothing, I'm a cat of my word.
Take me wherever you need to. Take me away from these people.
All right, so Jacques brings him up the stairs, and I imagine, is there any activity in the pavilion itself?
The pavilion itself, not at this hour during the day. You would notice some people. I mean, generally speaking, like more people are outside than you've ever seen here. Just kind of walking about. Some of them are like really like properly tending to their homes for the first time in a while, where they've been mostly holding themselves up and not really taking care of things. Some people have like their instinct is to immediately start doing chores again. And some people are just like literally just playing with their children because they finally can outside.
Fearn's chopping wood.
And Fearn is chopping wood near the pavilion. So like inside the pavilion, you might see occasionally like a couple of children run through because it's a fun little area to stomp their feet on the wood platform. But generally, no one's like working in there.
Okay, if there's like a table or like two chairs or something over by there, kind of away from people, but kind of close to also see the activity of the town.
So the perfect spot probably would be to go on the opposite side of the pavilion to where you are, because there's kind of like this backyard area on that other side that's a little bit of ways, but you can still see the whole village from it.
Gotcha. All right, so Jacques will bring right in there, and then untie fully and gesture with a hand to one of the seats.
You see he rubs at his wrists now, where there's sort of like a combination of rope burn and the actual burns from his magic there. As he will kind of look at you very suspiciously at this point, like just for a beat, where he's discerning your intentions and also kind of discerning you, like you're familiar with this look. This is a look of a criminal eyeing up a suspected other criminal and discerning level of criminality and level of corruption before he would sit down and kind of lean back, slouching very casual as he kind of does look around, and you can see like almost like a breeze washes over him as he's just like seeing a live village of happy people.
Sitting across from him, Jacques kind of sits down. And he's like what you see? It looks really nice now that it's not under fear and threat from some brigands.
He kind of sits up. Yeah, well, all the niceties like this, they fade over time. There's a reason this place sank. It wasn't just us. Something in their hearts as well. Sank them down, pulled them with us.
Yeah? You speaking from experience? You come from a place like this?
Yeah, a lot of us do. Some of the boys down there come from here.
Oh, interesting.
Where do you think we would have came from?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'm not from around here, so I apologize if some of my questions seem stupid or ignorant.
And he almost like has a reaction to those words. Like he doesn't like necessarily wince, but he kind of like looks away quickly when you say stupid, ignorant, kind of these sharp words. I'm from the north. Stony Heath. Small place like this. Less horses, less carpentry, less farms, and more mines and caves.
Okay, so Oh, I'm sorry. Are you hungry? Thirsty? Can I get you anything?
And this disarms him. Like this absolutely like of everything, this is what like disarms him the most. Is he kind of looks at you and sits back and really like goes from like crumbling a little and slouching to like then like up and tall to try to like make himself bigger. And finally just like, no, I'm good.
Sure?
Yeah.
Suit yourself. Robespierre! And unseen servant. And kind of like he's talking to no one. He over his shoulder. Could you go fetch me some more tea and biscuits, please? I believe Alicia, what's her name?
Alicia
left some out on the counter. Thank you.
There's a little trick. Magic.
Yes. You're familiar with magic, aren't you? What are you, chaos wizard or something? Spell go wrong?
No, I've episodes. I have episodes. Things go wrong. No educated. Oh, no college. Just little tricks. Little tricks I've picked up. But it's dangerous. As you can see. I try. I can kind of see things differently. Always could, really. But yeah.
Oh. Well, how about we just get down to it then? You said you didn't know who
Dalen.
Fucking Dalen's boss was. But you know something of his boss, yes?
A little, some. Yeah, some. We knew some. I mean, it was mostly Barnaby dealt with him most, as well as Fila inside.
What was her name?
Fila.
Fila?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
But I was sort of third in command, I could say. So I knew a little bit. Hey, and he kind of stops himself from asking a question.
I like to think that at this point, Robespierre comes back and he just sees like a platter floating in the air with biscuits and tea on it. Oh, thank you very much, Robespierre. And he takes just the tea and one biscuit and... Are you sure I can't get you anything?
Maybe some water.
You hear that, Robespierre? Some water, please. He sends him off again. So, third in command for a merry group of bandits. It must have been nice, have a little pull and being able to, push a few others around. Get a little more information.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be lying if I didn't say I was... Yeah, part of it was that... Yeah, it did feel good. Be able to be in charge a little bit.
Yes, that's power. Power feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and he kind of looks around like a little embarrassed, like as he's like looking around completely without any power and seeing like the people he was holding power over all just kind of like living life, not even looking at him.
You know, power comes in many forms. It comes from a position of authority. It comes from that innate skill, that magic, that finesse with a weapon, martial, whatever you call it. But it also comes in the form of... And at this, Jacques holds up his hand, and in between all his fingers, one's a platinum, one's a gold... Oh, platinum, gold, silver, and copper. It comes in coin.
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. Never really had that kind of power.
What if I told you that you could?
That'd be nice. But yeah. Be really nice. I mean, I don't know how much useful information I have, but I can give you what I got.
I'd love to hear it, Jacques says, putting down a silver.
And I imagine, like, as you put that silver down, there's just this loud, like, as not too far away, Fearin chops another piece of wood. Because Fearin, I imagine you're not too far away, so like you can generally, for the most part, listen in. If they get quiet, it might be a little hard to hear. You could always get closer if you want.
Yeah, I think he would. He's trying to ignore it, but he just absorbs it from, he can't get Gloveless's voice out of his head.
But at this point, I think we're gonna switch over to Bruce checking in on Septimus.
Sure.
Where's our little kobold? There he is. So yeah, Bruce, you can easily grab whatever kind of breakfast you want to grab from Alicia. She's offering everything to y'all on the house. And you can head over to the blacksmith shop, where you would find the door to the workshop is open. And you can see Septimus is still kind of like snoozing on the table there. You see Sal is in front of him, and he's kind of like just splayed out on the table, resting in front of him. There is already like not a full breakfast, but you can see like a now cold coffee is resting there that maybe the blacksmith's daughter had left there before she walked out for the day. But the blacksmith's daughter doesn't seem to be there.
Septimus? How you doing?
Septimus kind of just looking over into like the eyes of Sal and see that everything's still dim, and just shakes his head. He won't come back to me. I know he's there. I know he's out there, but I can't figure it out. I can't figure out why. I can't bring him back.
Have you taken a break? I brought you some bread and tea. It's not much, but it's something.
Still not quite hungry. I saw it though.
What did you see?
The moment when I lost myself for a second. as I held my hammer high. The flame that burned, the color that surrounded, that was Sal. Still here. As you see, like, Septimus had, like, wherever it left off, the hammer is, like, firmly placed, like, on top of, like, Sal's chest. Like when he fell asleep, he was trying to, like, channel whatever he thought is from the hammer back into Sal. He's like, but I can't.
All right, what have you tried thus far?
Septimus kind of like a little still defensive.
Yeah,
not
Bruce,
as angry as he was before, but like at this point, it's been a full night and he's like got no progress. He's like, come around, take a look. It's like, well, it's like checking it, like we're on each side of him. Like I'm on his right side, you're on his left side. He'll move the hammer away so you can see inside of his cavity. And he'll start pointing out intricate little things, like an artist for language at least, that he noticed that he was not able to notice before. How he believes that the energy or so-called spirit or whatever he saw within his hammer, how it got channeled originally through Sal itself, how it was able to move, and like how the magic was contained. Pretty much just like as he's going out and describing it to you. The main thing that he'll point to is the center sphere or ball that's housed in the chest cavity of Sal. It's like a glass orb, and previously, whenever Sal like functioned, it did emit light. And Seth was explaining, he's like, here, this is essentially the core of Sal and its being. You can see it's no longer lit up, but I believe that within this orb, a small, I guess, plasmic force was contained. That's Sal. Think of it the same way that we have a soul in our bodies, is that was his soul contained within. But I know he's still there because I can't fully explain it, but if we can get it back in there somehow, I can't figure out how.
And where do you think it is right now? In your hammer? Where do you think his soul is?
I tried connecting the hammer after what I saw. There is some sort of connection between him and I. I tried as Septimus would kind of move his arm, retract it from his wrist. Like I tried connecting it back to this. I mean, the whole possibility of me obtaining this came from Sal. And part of me suspected that part of him is still within me, or more specifically, like the arm here. But
it's probably, yeah. I imagine there's some sort of magnetism for his plasmic soul, as you phrased it, that keeps him around. So sort of like some magnetism from all that you've worked on. I imagine he's got some sort of fragments that are within you and everything you've built with him. From all this, do you mind if no, you can say no. Do you mind if I take some notes so that we have everything written down?
I didn't mean to get so harsh. It's just, he's all I have left, and I've lost way too much to lose someone else I care about. But he'll gesture over and be like, but please, I'm at my wit's end. And if there's somebody that could help him, it's you.
I will try my hardest. Now, drink some tea and have some bread. And here's a lollipop also. And Bruce is gonna crack his neck, take out his book. It's a little flippy do, and I'm gonna cast I'm gonna cast. Oh my god, where is it? Oh, enhance ability. That's the thing else. And I'm gonna do it for intelligence checks.
Absolutely.
And I will first make an investigation check.
Okay.
To see. Yeah.
Go ahead and give me that investigation check.
30.
Hell yeah. You start to take a look inside, and with this kind of opening in Sal's chest, it gives you kind of, oddly enough, more perspective into it, even more so than just the naked eye can if you were to use your goggles, as you can kind of get this like imaging of the inside in a more thorough way than the naked eye can, without fully pulling him apart. And you can see the first thing you notice, which is just like something that you're like, oh wow, like you're very impressed by, and is the fact that you can clearly tell on this glass orb that the blade hit the glass orb, and it bounced off the glass orb and skid like to the right, and there's like barely even a scratch mark. There's just this very clear small marking that the blade should have shattered this glass orb, but it bounced completely off, completely not penetrated by this weapon. It does seem like that weapon did, though, sever some bonds, some wiring, some circuitry that was attached to the orb from the left side of Sal's body. So his, left arm, the left proportions of him were severed from this core, so to speak. And you can notice with a 30 for sure. You can kind of notice that this glass orb also has some intricacies embroidered onto it, that are very small, very thin, very delicately made. Stuff that like you'd have to have either like particular machinery to create this, or some of the best, most delicate artificing hands in the world, to create some of these fine filigreed silver linings inside the orb, that are barely perceptible, almost like the lines of a computer chip, that create a kind of mosaic around the orb, so small that to the naked eye the orb still looks clear. And these seem to be some kind of circuitry that connects to several of these wirings and tubes that are connected to this glass orb in some way to exert whatever energy, soul, power that was within this core to the rest of Sal's body. Where there is this silver lining, there's then kind of these gold parts that connect these tubes to that circle, from small little like ports on the circle that are on the left, right, bottom, top, or I'm sorry, not the top, the back of it. The top of the orb has a very small opening with a small lip on it, and in your mind, you're immediately thinking like, okay, if I were to take away Septimus's faith and look at this as just a machine, this glass orb looks almost like something that you would ignite. Like you would literally like turn the gas on, put a match in there.
All right. I relay that. And so, and no, you don't like to hear that. but in a very literal sense, that's what I've gathered. Now, I don't know if we could. We will need really precise tools, and I mean, I got a really good look, but I don't have the equipment. I mean, actually, I might be able to make some equipment to do some stuff, but I don't know about fully repairing him. As far as giving him a spark, I wonder if there's any way we could transfer what you believe is his plasma or whatever in your equipment, either your hand or your hammer, into the top of that orb. I don't know how to transfer. If that's possible.
Sean.
Yes.
When he relayed that information to me, describe kind of again the silvery kind of like stuff around the orb. They're not visible, or do you have to like look very close?
You have to look extremely close. The reason why Bruce can see them is because of his tremor sense. Without his tremor sense, Bruce would have no chance of seeing them. Right. You would be able to see them if you were to like have like a nice big old magnifying glass that you could bring over and get a clear angle on it. You know, you're looking through a jagged cut in the chassis. Like if you completely opened the chassis up, you could like get close enough to see the little silver filigree on there. But from the naked eye, it just looks like glass.
Okay.
I also have these quartz eyes. I don't know if they can be used as a temporary filler for the broken parts of the orb. But I was thinking maybe we could fill that.
Well, I thought the orb wasn't broken.
The orb's not broken at all. No, it's attachments to the orb that are broken.
My apologies. I fucked that up.
Septimus will kind of perk up at this. Now that I got some clarification, when you relayed everything, it's like, oh, I didn't even see those before. As you point out, those small things connected to the orb. It's like, yeah, it must be some sort of. It's the connection between how it channels itself throughout the mechanical body. It must be. Okay. So how would we go about? Am I able to open up the chest if I'm able to, or no?
You would not be able to at this time.
Okay. That's fine. I was just curious because you mentioned that if it was, then you could do it. So we'll have to work with what we have. Okay. Second question.
Shoot.
How much the silver that needs to be repaired around the orb? How much silver are we talking about?
If you were to,
I guess a value amount.
Yeah, I would say, if you want to give me a...
And is it definitely silver, or does it appear to be silver?
It appears to be silver, but you can presume that it's probably silver. A lot of artificing utilizes silver. Whereas, in real life, we use a lot of copper for things. Silver is very conductive to magic.
Understood.
So
I just want to make sure.
But I would say, it's such a fine amount of silver that like the cost of making something like this would not come from the silver amount. It would come from the craftsmanship.
No, but I'm just talking about the material itself.
Yeah, truthfully, you could synthesize, if you had the right tools and the right everything, like it would not cost you much silver. 1 or 2 silver pieces could satisfy.
So,
would you allow me to, if I were to obtain the amount of silver that is required, to use Artisan's Blessing to kind of meld and form it around the orb in front of me?
I would let you try. I might have a one roll with it.
Okay.
That's just because it's a little bit just to fun.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just asking the questions here. Like, I mean, you can just tell me no. So.
Yeah.
Guidance.
It's like I might be able. I might be able to meld. Do you have any silver on you? Or I might have some silver on me. Actually, I'm not that poor.
Yeah, here you go.
I have silver pieces. I'll just use my own silver. I keep thinking I'm like dirt poor. Septimus will take out 2 silver coins, and he'll place them on top of the orb and attempt to do this ritual that takes an hour long, where essentially he's concentrating on them. And like, I can roll first to see if it works, but like I imagine if it does, or whatever process it is, like it's like you see like the 2 coins like start to like heat up and like melt, and then they kind of like slowly like just spread and just like drain around the orb, but it's not like falling to the bottom and dripping. Like it's he's like shaping it, or trying to shape it in the best way he can.
Absolutely. So go ahead and give me. It's up to you what you want to roll here. I will accept a tool check since you're an artificer. I'll also accept a religion check.
Yeah, let's do a religion.
While he's doing.
Oh no, go ahead.
No. I just in.
Go ahead.
At the same time, can I also be, from what I gleaned of these little circuits, the tools needed to even do that, or like repair that, to poke at them, or mend them? Can I make the tools for it? I have the ability, right tool for the job, where I can make whatever tools I need. As long as I spend an hour. So while he's doing that, can I do this?
Yeah, I would allow that. I would allow you to basically like generally speaking, like mechanically, these tools will work for what you want them to do. Story-wise, all of this is janky. All of this is the janky version of the sophisticated technology that Sal is. Like, it will work, but it's not gonna look as nice. So I'll absolutely allow you to do that. Go ahead and give me that religion check. You can add that D4 from the guidance.
Tool check would just be proficiency
and intelligence.
Oh, I would be a tool check, because I feel like he's like trying to concentrate.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I know that generally most of the.
I mean, they're both the same, but I'm just thinking for flavor, because I'm trying to, in as much as I can, balance the artificer and the faith.
I know. So go ahead and give me that check.
And I have guidance.
Yep. Yes, you do.
Is that plus
1d4?
Come on. 17.
Okay. I will let you know if you succeeded in a moment, because we're going to cut over to Sass.
Yep.
I feel like Mike is so used to his low rolls that like, he thinks anything below a 20 is like bad.
I was going to say the 17 is pretty good.
Because that's a pretty good roll.
Yeah, right?
I was more eye rolling for the fact that my guidance was a 1.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right. Sassy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You are sitting quietly in this basement.
Yep. Nobody can see it, but I'm sitting with my knees up and my arms around my knees, just sitting on this crate and just sitting and listening. Brooding, if you will.
I mean, you never know who's watching. So, I mean, we're going to say, like, generally over, like, the course of an hour, you're sitting there. I imagine all of these things are happening in the course of, like, an hour and a half. At first, nothing. Like, they are wary of their surroundings. Obviously not thinking there's an invisible person in here.
Sure.
But thinking, like, anyone might come down at any second. But once they kind of realize that they're keeping Reardon for a while, they start to talk a little bit. And at first it's very, very simple stuff. It's the bandits talking to one another, saying things like, we got to do whatever we can to get out of this. Whatever they want, let us go. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Did you see what happened? I saw right through his chest. That kind of talk is happening in general, until Fila talks, and she just sort of growls and goes, "Quiet. You don't know if they're listening to us. Do you really want to get out of here? We don't know what they're going to do to us. They could kill us all. If we have any chance of escape, we need to wait for the right moment." Here, one of the bandits is like, "I don't care about your plans anymore, Fila. You kicked Barnaby out of here. I know he wasn't so great, but you hadn't gotten us anywhere better. At least we were free out there. Heard what the Shadowmancer said. Didn't try, he would have killed us. Anyway." Fucking Shadowmancer or a fucking witch with tentacles coming out of the earth? What's the difference? She killed Yarrow. She killed Squint. She killed Hondo. We're all gonna die. For what? Some fucking gold. Silvers. We didn't even see most of it. This is a mistake. I lived down the road, when I was a kid. I don't need to hear your sad story. Just want to live freely from whatever they have in store for us. You're right, this was a mistake. We should have stuck to just robbing folk on the road. But keep quiet. Reardon better not say shit, or I'll bite his fucking face off myself. That's the gist. That's the biggest thing you hear.
Okay.
So, clearly not completely resigned to their fate.
Mm-hmm.
At least any who listen to Fila still.
Fila, right.
Some of them may just be like, we'll do whatever the fuck you want. Because they are, at the end of the day, just brigands. They're not sophisticated criminals. This isn't like Mr. Greaves' outfit. Right. These are farmland bandits who got roped into a bigger thing that was way over their heads.
Yeah.
And that's the vibe you get. These people are not like the people who are organizing experiments. They were just the people holding the stuff and handing it to the people. Or physically selling stuff.
Yeah.
And threatening brutes, really.
I won't say anything, obviously, because I don't want to give my position away. I'm going to keep listing, but I'm going to start repeating those three names in my head. Yarrow, what was it? Yarrow, Squint, and Handu.
Yep.
Just those are just repeating them over and over and over. Yarrow, Squint, Handu. Yarrow, Squint, Handu, and kind of just staring straight forward, and waiting for any other juicy information, but definitely having mixed feelings about the fact that they're so scared of dying, but we're in control of the situation. So wrestling with that.
Yeah. And I would say the only other thing you would hear is at some point someone, like, you see it because you have Devil's Sight. It's dark down there. You can see everything. They're tied up. They're not like close enough to each other to be able to like touch hands or anything. But someone does kind of like nudge their boot over and kind of like just like nudges someone who looks probably the saddest of all of them. And you just generally overhear in so many words this person kind of like checking in on this person. They call them Joe. And from what you can hear, you can determine that this is Yarrow's cousin.
Oh. Got it.
Yeah. The same one who shouted out at Septimus and Fearn. You're my cousin.
Yep. Got it. Okay.
Okay. All right. So we will step away from you now and return back to Fearn and Jacquette as they interrogate Reardon. So you've put a silver down on the table and you've asked Reardon to begin spilling beans. Is there anything else you want to say to him before he starts talking?
Nope.
Okay.
Spill the beans, and then maybe Robespierre comes over and Jacquette offers the water to him.
He immediately kind of like gulps at it. He drags the entire cup entirely.
And when he's done, he offers him a biscuit.
And you can see this cup is open to the floodgates, and he immediately takes it and starts scarfing it down.
Maybe some more, Robespierre. Sends him off for more food and drink.
And and he does that thing when someone's just like eating too much and then notices, and he kind of just like looks up at you as you say this to Robespierre, kind of like barely any of the biscuit left in his mouth as he kind of pulls it away and finishes it, swallows it, takes a drag of the last sips in his cup before kind of putting it down and sitting up as he's about to start talking. We didn't know the name of Dalen's employer. We knew a bit of what they were trying to do. Barnaby dealt with it a lot, but because of my magical nature, I helped a little bit. We would grow the stuff, the magical crystal, that we would sell them. Grew it in a font in the hideout, the one that you all flooded.
Is the font still operational, or did that end it?
Font is requires a certain solution to foster the growth of the crystals. The solution was being provided by the employer so long as we provided results. The crystals were growths off of a core crystal. Sapphire of sorts. That, from my understanding, contained storm elemental. Big one at that. Very big one. Solution kept it a bit more contained, as well as fostering the growth of these crystals and imbuing these crystals with a bit more of an effect. The crystals seem to have a link to the villagers. That's why the people of this region were good test subjects for this experiment. I assume it has something to do with the naming ritual. And it's why some of the boys had to stay out of the main chamber. Yeah. Would see things if they were in there. Felt called to the pool. So they were on guard duty or watch in the woods, while others were in the chamber. We were low on solution, and that's what we were trying to get Dalen to provide us. But we were also low on villagers. So Barnaby argued with him. Tried to tell him that this was a not long-living business operation. We'll kill everyone in this town eventually if we keep doing it. Dalen didn't like that, but I don't know what his real response was because of whatever you set off exploded down there and the waters filled everything up. After that, he told us we had to kill you, or he'd kill us. But all I know is that he wanted any information that we could give him on these people after the effects of this. He wanted... Luckily for us, the design of whatever they concocted would bring the people to us, so long as their loved ones didn't stop them. They'd come to the forest, they'd come to the farmhouse, drawn to the font. Like something was trying to come home. Most of them on death's door. And then Dalen wanted privacy to investigate the font whenever he visited. Don't know what he was doing. Don't know what notes he was taking. All he ever wanted was information and observation. He gave us gold. Well, silver, really. He flashed gold in our eyes, but those of us with a bit more brains understood that one gold is not that much, necessarily. Spread out amongst 15 or so. But it's shinier for sure.
I think while he's talking, Fionn is gonna like put his axe down slowly and like, carefully walk over to listen in as the story's going on, and leans over to Gloveless and says, "Whatever this font he's talking about, we might want to see if we can recover it.
Jacquet just nods and a smile comes across his face as he looks over at Fear and goes, "Oh, so you couldn't stay away after all, could you?"
You're doing fine on your own. We're gonna need the Sea Witch to go search for it, though. Should I go get her?
"Let's wait until we have all the information," Jacquet says, turning back to the guy with the weird name.
Reardon.
Reardon, gesturing for him to continue.
He just kind of like looks between the two of you as I imagine Robespierre comes back with more food. He doesn't chow down on it, but he grabs one kind of quickly and just keeps it in front of him. Occasionally just kind of taking a crumb off and eating it, as he would then kind of like go further. But there was more to it than gold, silvers, coppers, and weapons. For some of us, at least. Dalen fella, he's a fucking nightmare. He had a way of getting in your head. So, regardless of how dark things got, I enjoy pushing people around and being big shot around town, but at a certain point, kind of stuck when things get dark. But he promised me help with the episodes. If we finish the work, whatever they were working on could help me. I don't know what it was, and I don't really think I ever believed them, but not to say I didn't enjoy the fighting and the power, but anyway, Barnaby had the most contact with Dalen. He was the only one to ever meet with him outside of the hideout. Barnaby had a little bit of book smarts, some education. His magic was a little more sophisticated. Like this fella, as he kind of like points his eyes at nothing next to him, assuming Robespierre is still there.
Robespierre's on the other side. But only Jacquet knows that.
Where is this Barnaby?
Fear, I'm sorry. You said I was doing a good job about this? Let the man tell his story, and then you ask the questions. He's probably going to answer.
Well, why can't we just...
Patience.
Fearon walks off again.
I apologize for my companion. He's unrefined.
You see he's just sort of like scratching now at the kind of heavy 5 o'clock shadow on his face, the stubble. Feel ran Barnaby off. I don't know where he is. Else he could be dead. Wasn't the most hardy of us. An ideas man. She's sick of him. Real brains against brawn, you might say. They kind of led together till she took over. He ran southeast. And of course he could have gone any direction after we left, but kept following the road. As far as we can see. I don't know what else you want to know.
Deepling his fingers and leaning forward, Jacques goes, "What I want to know is more about this operation. You referred to, or you say Dalen referred to the villagers as test subjects. Did you get the impression that there was a larger scheme at work? Or that this was simply the start of something bigger?"
As far as I could tell, or as far as I know, it seemed like a start. I mean, could have been things beforehand, or could have been things happening elsewhere in Rakivo, in Asia, but I mean, we didn't know about anything outside of this isolated. I mean, they really wanted us to keep people out. You know, sometimes it was much more about us threatening people on the road than it was about us pushing drugs.
Do you have any idea where Dalen's from?
I've never seen anyone that cold and that dark that makes you just feel like you want to crawl out of your skin whenever he's around. Doubt he's from Asia. Maybe even the far lands, given how odd he is. Given this. It's just fucking evil, man. I know we're bad, but
Then maybe not where he's from, but where he operated out of. Anything that might have indicated it. Some kind of coin he had, or clothing, equipment that maybe leads one to his base of operations, if you follow.
That I'm not too sure of. I mean, his clothing, although dark and shabby, it's fine. He had good, well-made armor. Not stuff you're gonna find anywhere outside of a city. There's not any local leather workers, blacksmiths, you know, outfitters, anything. They're not making stuff like that. Not since the guilds have centralized in the cities and the sort of factory smithies and whatnot have started. Maybe in the Mirzan region, where they still pride themselves on those things.
Good to know. Again, I'm not from around, so I wouldn't know where to even start.
Well, I'd say be careful if you're gonna mess around with the Zahn. Find this guy.
Why do you say that?
I'll just say they're the most unfriendly folk around this entire goddamn archipelago. Don't really have much love for foreign outlanders from even the rest of the islands. Barely contained, as far as I know. I mean, they used to, from what I know, before before my years, probably before my father's years, they had a penchant for raiding these regions. Coming in, burning everything down, taking everything, only leaving a few survivors so they could build it back up, do it again. Nowadays, they keep to their lands. At least they don't mess with the rest of the islands. Can't say the same for any of those Gwenvaleri ships that get lost.
Oh yes, I've heard plenty about the piracy around the Aldhalor Islands. Where I come from, it's quite infamous.
Yeah, well, Gwenvaleri's pray for Asia pirates to catch them. Not the Zon.
Okay, I think we're almost done here, but you said this font, was also with the large core crystal. Is the core crystal, to your knowledge, still within it?
Must be. Those of us who are inside barely made it out of the waters. Couple people drowned. Almost all of us got out though. I don't think anyone was looking back to go swim after a crystal.
Okay. And I have one more question. Question for you, Reardon. What's next for you?
I told you last night, let me go, I'll get the fuck out of here. Go to the Midlands. I don't know, go home. Stony Heath. I really don't know.
You can do that. Or, if you'd like, how would you like a job?
Oh, come on. You're gonna hire this guy?
I'm going to shoot you. If you want to be a part of this conversation, be a part of it. Otherwise, please just let me do my thing.
You two are partners?
That's a strong word. We work together. And as you can see, I work with very many interesting individuals. And I'd be more than happy to work with one such as yourself.
What kind of work are we talking about?
That remains to be seen, but as I told you, I'm new in town. And could use some friends.
I mean, it's a better prospect than I have anywhere else. But I'll warn you, you've seen it. I'm not in the right mindset. I'm in the wrong place. Get messy. That's kind of why I kind of turned to this sort of life.
Well, maybe we can find you a teacher of sorts. Someone to help you channel your magic.
And, he takes a big bite of the food and sip of the water, and then kind of like, he doesn't smile, but you can tell that his face is more relaxed. There is a minor excitement that you can see underneath that he's concealing somewhat, and he just kind of nods to you.
So Jacques is going to take out 4 more silver pieces to make 5, and then a gold, and place it on the table and slide it over to him and go, take this and head to Hyvin. I don't really care what exactly you do there, but maybe find a place to stay, learn the lay of the land. You seem partially familiar, at least to know the infamy of Mr. Greaves.
Shrubby, somewhere I should find you. I don't even know your name.
My name is Jacquet. Jacquet Touchard.
All right.
If you need me, I should be playing at the fucking Harlequin and Chalice. I'm not sure what day yet. I'm still getting set up there, but I'm sure they'll have posters if you check by every day or so.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is good. Heaven, it's not exactly a place that those others can find me. So yeah, I can keep quiet there and wait for you.
Fantastic.
Is that it? Am I...
Unless there's anything else, Jacquet says, turning to Fionn.
Just don't cause trouble for the people at that inn. They're good. They'll treat you right.
I'm not trying to start any more trouble. And he looks to Jacquet. Does he want me to? And he pockets the money.
Well, I think that's all. It's a few days' travel. You might want to hit the road soon. I don't know if there's really anything else for you here, either. Townsfolk might not wish to serve you. And any friends you had here, probably no longer your friends.
He nods at you and stands up nervously and takes 4 steps and just looks to the two of you in almost a frozen stance of you're not gonna shoot me in the back kind of face on it, and then he slowly walks away, occasionally looking back before he disappears.
After sitting for a while, Jacquet's like, I think that went very well, don't you?
I suppose. You did get a lot of good information. I don't know why you think he'll be of any use to us, though.
What I saw in that basement, what he is capable of, I think, from the remnants of that magic, and to be number 3 and a bandit, that means he's not good enough to be on top, but he's not a piece of shit. So, perfect to work under someone like me, or us. Like I said, I am new here. We are new here, and we need all the friends we can get. One more wild magic sorcerer helps the cause.
I just don't like the idea of poaching him off some other group.
Well, I don't really care what you think.
I guess I can't fault that. It's your money.
Exactly, and I know how to spend it. Let's go check on Sass and see what she's found out. Maybe we can rouse some more info from those still below.
And with that, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will resolve the fate of Sal in this moment, and then bring the group back together. All right, folks, stick around with us. We will be back shortly, in 5 minutes or so, and we'll continue with the adventure. So, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon. Woo. Welcome back, everybody, to Adrift in Aldhalor. Welcome. Oh my god, these children.
Having a good time.
So, Sass has spied on the discussions amongst the bandits in the basement. Septimus and Bruce are working on repairing Sal as Jacquet interrogated Riordan, the wild magic sorcerer bandit, and seemingly gotten him onto his side as his paid agent now. Sent him on the way to Hyvin, while Fearn listened and disagreed, but both of them seem to that this gem that he mentioned might be worth getting. We're going to jump over to Septimus and Bruce to resolve that check from earlier, that 17, and then we'll bring everyone back together at the Wind Mercado. So, you rolled a 17 on your tools check to repair Sal's silver filigree, while Bruce is working on crafting some tools to help work on. So, Septimus, just as you said, the 2 silver pieces you're using as a component here begin to burn away and melt before they turn into kind of floating globules that then go into the chest cavity of Sal and into the sphere and begin to mold as best you can to the sphere itself. While you're doing this, Bruce, you can't hear quite exactly the words, but Septimus is seemingly mumbling some words under his breath that seems almost like he's mumbling them unconsciously. He's not even thinking about mumbling them. As Septimus, as you're working hard on this, you're getting flashes in your mind of some images that are crossing your mind. Not so much visions as more your memory recollection. As you find yourself mumbling under your breath a prayer as you're doing all of this. And you start to see images of this small construct creature, probably the size of a bird, loosely the shape of a bird, start to kind of flap its wings and then fall back to the ground inanimate. And you just started to see that image over your mind's eye as you begin to mumble this prayer under your breath, and molds this silver into Sal, which seems to be, with this 17, successful. As you start to finish the ritual, and you can kind of you can feel yourself being taxed by it, and you're somewhat tired at the end of it, but then you kind of let go of this ritual, and you can see the silver lining cooling on the glass of the orb. The silver itself clearly not as sophisticated as the lining that was there before, but connecting the dots where it needs to be operational.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it doesn't look the best, but I think that those need to be.
You think you got it?
As far as the material on the orb, now if I did this correctly, we need to place the connectors of the body itself to the orb of the filament that I created.
All right.
So you made some tools there. Those are perfect. Yeah. Why don't you you have better sight, especially with the smaller things, because I wasn't able to see before. If you want to go ahead, give it a shot.
All right, I'll try to see if I can connect the dots, as it were. Do you think you could? Think we need to melt it a little bit more? Hope it doesn't. Is it still melty?
No.
It's no, it's not. Okay. It's solidified by now.
All right, I'm gonna make a tools check.
Go for it.
Oh, I get expertise now. Uh, 29.
Okay.
My God.
Yes, I'll say absolutely. With this tools check, you're able to, it kind of takes a little bit of time, but you're able to carefully, it's this vision that you have with the goggles gives you almost this 3D way to look, almost more than I know we all see 3 dimensions, but we're really seeing 2 dimensions, and our brains turn them into 3 dimensions. Like, I feel like Bruce actually sees in 3 dimensions with this tremor sense. So you're able to like just much more carefully like maneuver the tools in this tight space that someone without this vision might find more overwhelming. And slowly, and you can see like Septimus, you're watching very carefully. You can see some kind of like sparks coming off as you're maneuvering all of these wires, reconnecting them where you need to, casting mending if you have to on certain parts that would work to do this. And from what you can tell, everything seems to be connected properly. You know, maybe not necessarily safely, but properly. It should function correctly, and you know, may need further repairs in the future, but should work correctly based on what you've observed, both of you have observed.
And that should do it. As Bruce confidently just, all right, yeah, check it out.
Septimus kind of like peeking in, taking a look at it. Like, I mean, this is the first time I'm seeing it, but I mean, that it looks like that should work.
Yeah, it's not the most perfect job, but should work. But
Septimus kind of grabbing his hammer. He's like, I guess I'll give it a try.
Are you gonna smack him? What?
No.
Oh. Okay.
The energy that I spoke about, draw it through my hammer, and hopefully return to us.
All right, I'll take a step back.
Just bang. No.
Just bonk him.
Yeah, exactly. So Septimus is gonna hold over him, kind of hold the hammer out like above where the orb is, like with both hands. Kind of like actually like it looks like he's gonna like just pull back and just like smack on it. But he's not. He's gonna just utter some additional words under his breath. As you see kind of like energy and light starts to emit from the hammer as he'll cast Sacred Flame.
Absolutely.
And target that spot that Bruce had mentioned is going to be the spark to ignite it.
Absolutely. And as that some of those images keep flashing before your eyes, and even thinking to the way that you kind of understood this orb before even seeing it. And this is why you so confidently could say things to Bruce about it, even though you didn't know too much about it even a month ago. And as the hammer kind of hovers over and comes down, you see the hammer, the sacred flame rises into the hammer, and then you see it drain almost, and it no longer looks like a flame as it's descending down, and more like a flame in more of a vacuum where it doesn't have the tongues, or like a plasma, as it then goes in, and this white light with tinges of bright blue ignites the entire orb. That there's a moment where there's almost like flame completely within it, then that twirls and twirls until it's just this small bead of plasma center that roils. You can see sort of this aura coming off of it, almost like solar flares that is connecting to all of the silver filigree. And you can see just sort of this blue light, bright baby blue light kind of overcomes the entirety of Sal's body. And you can see those little tiny extra runes that you have to look very close to see, otherwise they just kind of look like texture on Sal's armor. All light up for a moment. You can see the wound in the chest partially begins to heal itself as the metal kind of starts to bind together. So much so that it closes most of this chest wound. If you look closely, there are still cracks in it where you can see through and see in. There's actually even a little bit of light that emanates from them, almost like a patchwork of healing that's happened. But then suddenly, the eyes turn that light blue. Sal is back.
Oh,
Oh, you did it!
so this is actually just gonna go up and hug him, even if he doesn't respond.
Yeah, and you see Sal. Sal puts his right arm around you, and kind of like returns the hug in that awkward robot way, and like is patting you on the back, and then like very awkwardly lifts his left arm that is working a little janky right now, and closes the hug to pull you in. Again, like most of the automatons, hard to tell emotions behind it. You can anthropomorphize the face as much as you want for the actions, but it does pull. It does seem to pull, and for you, like Bruce, like this robot does seem to pull him in for an emotional hug. Where Septimus does kind of, I imagine, sink a little bit into Sal as
he does, and like a couple of tears will roll down Septimus' face. It's just like, I thought you were gone. I'm glad you're back. As he just kind of takes in the cold warmth, because there's no warmth at all probably, of just holding on to Sal.
Bruce is just beaming a smile with a lollipop in his mouth.
Absolutely. As Septimus, it is kind of like that. That's a good way to put it. This cold warmth as you hug onto Sal, and it's cold metal, but there is just sort of this low, constant hum. For lack of a better way, Sal's heartbeat, and there's life there, and that that spark is still there now. That is the warmth that you're looking for. This companion. Sal looks about, a little bit confused, maybe based on the way he's looking around, but immediately gets up off of the bench, sort of keeps an arm over Septimus's shoulder, keeps that left arm, almost like Sal is, oddly enough, a little bit weak on his left side right now. It'll take a little bit for it to fully recover, but it's completely operational.
After a moment, Septimus will kind of like pull away and kind of regain some of his composure. It's like, I knew he was still with us. This is great. This is great. This
is wonderful. I'm very happy for
thank you
that you were able to do this. Yeah, of course, anytime.
You too. We were both able to do this. I can't thank you enough for your help.
You're very welcome. I'm gonna leave you to chat. All right. I'll be outside. And Bruce will head out to give them some space.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sal, I mean, this is the thing that Sal, you feel overjoyed at Sal's return, and though Sal can't emote really at this time, there is, whether it's just your mind or it's some connection, feel that presence, that humming from Sal seems to return that affection.
At that point, Septimus will probably just start chatting with Sal, kind of just like going over like kind of what just happened in his like thought process, of like trying to fix him is like I know, like I felt you. Your presence never left, and when I looked upon you, I could finally see what makes you tick, and kind of like just going on and just explaining like everything that like up this moment. And then finally picking up the meal that Bruce had brought him. Now like he's like, damn, I haven't eaten in a while. Like the appetite has kind of come back a bit. So
yeah, you're absolutely ravenous. As you break out all these sort of rambling notes to Sal, kind of, as much as he can't talk back to you, he's always been the person to talk to for you for a long time. So all of this pours out, and the only thing really like you notice from Sal is that he kind of like puts a hand to his chest, is like feeling at the wounds, and like even like kind of like puts his fingers inside for a little bit, feeling his own chest. It's almost this moment, you're not sure what he's thinking at that time, but it's almost you could surmise it could be curiosity of his own self, which given some of your biases that with how you feel machines to have a living soul, this is an interesting moment to see. It could be mechanical, perhaps some of your doubts view this as him just understanding his wounds and going into a protocol to repair them. Or he could be thinking about his own self.
Right.
In a way that people don't believe the machine. So, after you finish the food, you kind of return outside to find Bruce, I imagine, sucking on that lollipop, looking real cool, leaning against the wall. And you two can return to the Windy Mercado, where everyone, I imagine, is going to gather. Sass, as your invisibility is kind of ending, you come up there as Bjorn and Jacquette return from the interrogation. You can all find yourselves in the bar section of the Windy Mercado to reconvene.
So sorry, Sal is back with us?
Yes. So you would all see walking in, basically, you would see Sal kind of walking with a limp, and kind of with one arm a little slack over Septimus's shoulder.
Hey, back from the dead.
Ah, the Tin Man lives.
Yes. Thanks to Bruce, we were able to bring him back.
It wasn't only just me. You have pat yourself on the back too.
You played a big part, for sure. Yes. He's still a little weary, it looks like. He's not fully healed. We can only do so much with the equipment that we have here to try to repair him, but at least I know he's with us. And
of course. And when we get back to Hyvin, maybe you can finally use the Academy's artificer whatever workshops to fully repair him.
I absolutely
and fix my gun.
Yes, I have not forgotten about that.
Okay, good.
But yes, I am looking to Fearn for a bit. It's like I am a little ashamed, losing myself a bit. I will try to do better. To not let my emotions take over me.
Nobody's perfect. You can try to be, though. You'll get better over time. Just practice. Emotions are just like everything else. You work hard, and they get better.
Can't agree more. So, did any of you find out any more about our, those left, I suppose?
They're fucking scared of us.
As they should be.
They didn't say much. They were afraid they were being listened to. to
they're
be right, but they
smarter.
don't know that.
Smarter than I thought.
Yep. But yeah, the Dragonborn did say that Rearjin better not say shit. So
Well,
did he
he
say
spilled
shit?
his pretty little guts all over.
Wonderful. What did you
But
learn?
that's what you get when you treat a prisoner with a little respect. And coin, of course. No, Reardon told us everything we should need to know for the time being. Though I'd love to question Fila, the Dragonborn, I doubt we'll get anything out of her. From what he told us, Dalen was working for someone, obviously. But we don't know who. Dalen doesn't appear to be from these lands. Unbeknownst to me, of course, but Reardon seems to think he might be from the far lands, and wherever he's operating out of here in the Aldhalor is some kind of city based on the nice armor. Okay. Unfortunately, the people within this little bandit group that dealt with Dalen and his superiors are Fila and Barnaby. It sounds like Barnaby has been run off and potentially dead. I don't know if it's really worth looking for him out in the wilds. So maybe we run into him on the road. I don't know. Though, it's kind of how Dalen was here and his objectives. So we learned more. The font that you saw, the magical pool in their base, needed some kind of solution to create these crystals. And Reardon said that there's one core crystal, kind of like the crystal you had, Bruce, that contained an elemental, a big storm elemental at that. And it would appear, given our watery success at the hideout, that font and crystal may still remain. Now, Fionn here and thinks, and I agree on this, that we might want to go back. And given one of our groups, aquatic, I'm trying to think of a clever...
Saskia, you could breathe in water, right?
Okay, yep.
Also, we have two. No,
Aquatic
we've got
allocations, aquatic.
Water breathing.
Illusions, aquatic.
Proficiency.
No, it has to start with an A. Alliteration, my friends.
Instead of affinity starts with an A.
Aquatic adaptation.
Okay, you know
yes,
what?
I can fucking
Fuck all
swim
of you.
underwater and I can breathe underwater. What about it? You want me to go in and get this fucking crystal?
Yes, it could be worth a lot to anyone, but to our benefactor, whose name I'm not going to pronounce because I'll fuck it up again.
It's not that hard. Sigil.
Yes, of course, Sigil. Thank you. Yes, so Sigil will probably want, and this will be, if nothing else, this will ensure that we get the largest pay rate. If anything, I think we should give him all the information, and then when he's like, oh, you guys get the most, then we go, oh, we also have the core. And then he's like, oh, okay. And we're like, but it's extra. So, if we want to do that, that's cool. But also, Dalen referred to this as a test. The people in the village were test subjects. That's why they were trying to keep it all enclosed. The bandits were trying to both keep people out while also selling this drug. So, I don't know if we've seen the last of this elemental affliction.
Do you have any idea who is funding the experiment?
Unfortunately, not.
Sean, can you tell me if Fionn has ever heard of the Zon before?
Give me a history check.
The Zon.
I would just say generally from like traveling.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking for a history check, because there's a chance that you would.
Yeah, I got an 11.
11. the DC was 10, so I would say you don't know a lot about them, but you've heard, because since your people have a history of raiding, you would know that this is another raiding sort of culture and civilization. You don't know much else. All you know is that y'all didn't go that far south because you knew there were already raiders there.
Right, like, we'd go that far south and there would be a place that was already ransacked, and we'd be like, oh, shit.
Already ransacked, and then you would see very threatening ships on the horizon.
Yeah. The Zan, they're a bad bunch. I've heard of them before.
Well,
They don't
again,
take kindly to anyone.
We
Sass,
don't actually know that there's any.
You also
connection.
know who the Zan are.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, but I was pretty certain. Yeah, they're.
Yeah, you didn't have to.
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough fuckers. Actual pirates.
Well, I don't want to get into too much speculation now. Let's take the information we have and report it back to Sigil. You almost made me say Sigil. Sigil.
Hey, maybe it'll catch on and he'll change his name. I don't know. It's not the first trend I've seen.
It's not wise to anger your employer. If you want to keep on getting coin, we probably should respect him.
Yeah, how does the phrase go? Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
You all think I would actually insult him to his face? I have class, you know. 2 classes, Bard and Rogue. Boom.
Yeah, a lot of class.
I'd say I'll be here all week, but I'm leaving as soon as I fucking can.
Yeah, thoughts.
But going to the crystal that's containing an elemental, how big are we talking about?
I don't know, Saskia, you were down there. Do you remember seeing a large crystal?
I remember seeing a pool and some crystals poking out of it, but I don't think I saw the.
Okay.
I'm just gonna interject. Maybe I don't know if this is what you're gonna say, Bruce, but like an entire crystal of containing a large and very powerful storm elemental is going to be quite cumbersome.
Yeah. So here's my idea. Does anybody have a bag here?
Yeah.
I have a few.
Sure.
Yeah.
Give me your bag.
I hand him a bag.
All right. I'm just gonna. What kind of bag is it?
It's just like a backpack sort of thing.
All right.
It's an adventurer's bag, so it's on the larger side.
Do you need anything in here?
Yeah, like all of it.
All right. Bruce is just gonna dump it out on the ground.
What the hell, man?
Hold on. Bruce is just gonna.
There's actually surprisingly not a lot in there.
That's true. You did sell a lot of your stuff right away.
You need that.
Bruce is gonna reach into his back, bring out utility Swiss, unfold it like a little butter knife. Butter knife. Yes, a butter knife. It's now a butter knife. And I'm gonna smear like a butterfly knife, and he's gonna flip it over again, and get like a I want to say like a stitching, like a little hook. Mm-hmm. And he's gonna just along the seam, he's just gonna, I'll say, run like a wire through there, mm-hmm. like through what is currently the open, like the zipper, or I don't know, not a zipper. It's like a
squeeze.
Yeah.
The door.
Yeah. And then at the very end, he's gonna flip his knife again and then cut the wire, and now it's a bag of holding.
Whoa.
So cool!
Yeah, watch. I could stick my whole hand in it, and then my hand just disappears, like it does off screen.
Yeah, and then Bruce gets a little stuck, and then the bag goes over his whole torso.
Easy there. Yeah, I pull it off of him.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool. I start reloading all my stuff inside of there, and like I like put in like a crowbar and then like some rations, and then like I pull the crowbar back out just to make sure I know how it works, and like just like this is very organized. Like, how does it know what I want?
Well, the way it works is that you have to think of the object that you want, and then you put your hand in, and that object should magnetize to your hand.
That's fucking dope, dude. I love this.
Yeah.
Local vernacular of.
How do I feel like
Yeah, fucking dope.
Like, how much stuff couldn't even fit in here? He's just picking up chairs and just like. And as soon as OSC comes out, it's like, oh no, please don't do that.
Yeah, so you know,
can I light it up? Like I'm taking like light fixtures and stuff and throwing it in there.
No, but whatever you do, don't turn it inside out, or else everything's going to come out in a forceful manner.
Also, don't put too much stuff in it, because
it can break.
Pop it. You can pop it.
Yeah, it's got a limit. Just
all right. I take out the unnecessary things.
Yeah, so you can fit the storm crystal in there.
Great.
But it's not permanent. It'll work until you bring it back to me, and then
So what happens if I don't get to you in time, or you forget about it?
Are we all not staying together?
What? Oh no.
Excuse me. I think we should all go together.
Yeah. All right.
Well, all right.
I mean, we don't all have to go down. But
right. Yeah, until you bring it back.
We can load up the cart and take it over there, and then just leave from there.
I mean, I've got a permanent bag of holding, is what I mean to say.
Well,
That's like
what are we doing about the fuckers in the basement?
Oh yes, we should speak with the Onomancer and see what his thoughts are as the leader of this village.
I would say just leave their fates to the town, but But then again, the Dragonborn is quite dangerous.
I don't know if the town can actually deal with these bandits.
Well,
see what the Onomancer has to say.
Does he have a jail cart? You know, just a
paddy wagon.
Yeah.
Hey, get him in the paddy wagon. You know when they say that.
Okay, so you're going to visit the Onomancer?
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, easy enough. You all agree to that and head out. You can head up the hill to the Onomancer is. I would say as you're approaching, you would overhear the end of a conversation between the Onomancer and the blacksmith's daughter. As the Onomancer is kind of like sitting there, he's like, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and as soon as the heroes leave, we can get started right away. Perhaps if they stick around long enough or come back, the big strong one can help with the project. But I think it's wise. I think you're right. As you hear the end of the conversation, just sort of some appreciation, and as you're walking to the door, you see her step out. She opens the door up and kind of sees you all, and just sort of gives a quick "oh."
Hello.
And the Onomancer kind of looks past her and says, "Oh, yes, come in." As she just sort of nods and holds the door open for you all.
When Septimus walks past her, he'll nod and be like, "Thank you again for allowing me to use your facility."
He nods back and says, "Thank you for inspiring some change in town."
Maybe you want to stay for this conversation?
Me?
Yeah. You seem to hold yourself well. You were brave when things got rough. I think you deserve to listen to this.
it looks back at the Onomancer, who nods, and she kind of gestures for you to go in, and then she steps in and just stays in the back. You all approach the Onomancer. Immediately goes, I cannot thank you enough for staying when you had such an easy road home. This is going to change everything. This is exactly what I had hoped Sigil would be able to send to help us. Genius minds like you all, as he specifically says you all, but looks and points at Septimus.
Jacquet kind of moves over in front and goes...
As you do that, though, he points his other finger at you and says, with such a voice for inspiration. And then looks to the Fearn and Sass and says, and vigor to fight those who would do harm to the innocent.
Fearn snorts.
I do not look happy.
And then looks down to Bruce and says, with such unconventional thinking. And then looks to all of you.
At this, Jacquet just starts laughing. Unconventional thinking. Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna write that down.
He just kind of like looks at Jacquet with like the weirdest face. Like he's just sort of like, I can't tell if you're being very rude right now or genuinely like kind or he just has a hard time reading you in that moment.
Bruce is just looking at him like, yeah, all right, asshole.
The terrible thing is he meant that as a compliment. But you're also used to people being dicks to you.
Yeah.
What could we do to thank you? I'm hoping that Sigil has reward for you.
Oh, yes, he does, but if you have anything extra, I mean, you know.
There's not much we have right now, but it is certainly something that we can have in the future. You're always welcome in our town.
You could save yourself. That's not why we're here. As he kind of looks over and gives Jacquet like a what the fuck face.
Hey.
No, it's the matter of those kept in the basement of the tavern, as to what to do with them next. I'm not quite sure. Well, I guess hard way to say this, but not quite sure because we're not law enforcement. We have no way of restraining them. Not executioners.
Oh goodness, no.
Us?
Shut the fuck up.
Well,
but
we leave them in your capable hands. I'm sure you'll do what's right.
It was more just to ask of someone you may call on that could bring them somewhere, or because obviously, if you were able to handle them, you would have done it yourself.
Well, when we were handling them ourselves, there were many. The count in the basement, from what I understand, from the fight. And he kind of looks past you all to Blacksmith's daughter. I believe that Ada here can help with this. Before you came in, she was speaking to me about the need for the town to be more protected, able to stand on her own 2 feet, not necessarily needing to rely on folk from the city to come and save us. She's going to be starting a militia.
Well, that's wonderful.
And I think
a great start. Get you guys back on your feet again.
Unless Sigil wanted these criminals for any reason, I believe I know how to take care of them. Some of them I remember giving names to. The ones I saw. So,
Well,
that's perfect then. You can take care of them. I just would warn you about the Dragonborn. Fila, she's a little feisty. So.
Should we take her?
no,
And just her? Or
you can leave her. I think our approach will be piece by piece. And he immediately he immediately realizes how scary that sounds, and he immediately goes, "That's not what I meant. I don't mean any harm or gruesome torture. What I mean is individually, one by one. Save her for last. Which efforts we believe are suitable for rehabilitation. Don't intend to harm any. Save. Those who won't be saved, then they may find themselves held in captivity.
leave that in your discretion.
Hesitate to maintain their imprisonment. If I can find some purpose, I'll keep them harming others, while still learning to take responsibility for their actions in a way that's satisfying to the families they've hurt. I think we can find some new life. Maybe not all of them, though. Who knows? We shall see.
All right. That sounds great. Well, go for it, Jackpot.
I was just gonna say, if that's all, then I think our work here is done. It's been an honor getting to know your quaint little hamlet, and I hope that next time we come, it's a little... things are better for you all, he says, clearly trying his hardest not to be demeaning about the town.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certain things will be better, and I hope that when you return we can give you a hero's welcome. I know that you have much business to take care of, otherwise I'd ask if you wish to stay till the festival. It is many days away.
Yeah, free amenities would be nice at some point, but here, I don't know what heroes get, whatever that is. It sounds nice. But don't.
Oh.
As long as you
shall respect your wishes not to be flaunted over, I suppose. Lodging is certainly doable. If you...
As long as you remember who we are and our names, all of us. As he'll turn, I imagine it came in with us. It was like, even Sal. Kind of like give him like a half smirk, like yeah, say thank you.
And you see the guy, the onomancer, August does look to Sal, and he looks at you, Septimus, as you're saying this, and like doesn't know where you're going with it until you look over your shoulder. And when he does look over to Sal, you do see a warm smile crawls over his face, and he nods to Sal, and just says, "If anything this cat has said is true, and I'm happy to have received help from one such as yourself." And nods to Sal, who points at himself like this. Like,
why would he doubt me?
But the next time you're here, you can send word ahead and we'll prepare the amenities. I'm certain we'll be able to take care of you. next you come through Billowgrass. Take care,
Wonderful.
adventurers. You've done great things here.
Sass, at that, you've done great things here. I'm gonna turn and walk out.
Saskia.
Yeah.
And he kind of like looks to the rest of you like he would like leave. I want to talk to Saskia. As he would say, I promised you something if you were to stay.
Yeah, well, I don't know that I deserve it, to be honest. These great things that you, the great things that you talk about, I don't feel great. They don't feel great. I killed a bunch of people. That doesn't feel good. They didn't, I don't think they deserve to die, but I couldn't keep a clear head.
Well, I can't say that I can determine if they deserved to live or die. I don't think you can either, really. But you were fighting. It's hard to keep focused if you're not, well, even the bravest soldier. Though I can't say I know much about war and combat. And I would not say that you are undeserving of your reward. A lot more people might be dead. And though that might not justify the lives taken, it is some
I know what you're trying to say.
some peace.
Consolation.
Consolation, thank you. My brain kept going to consolidation. And I was like, that's a dark way to talk about killing people. And
yeah, you consolidate, 5 people that want to kill somebody to just one. Yeah,
exactly.
Well, just putting it to Saskia. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Is some consolation to know that some more would be dead without your action.
Sure.
And if you had left, there might be more blood.
If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not think about it. Is there something?
You asked.
I don't mean to be rude.
You wanted to know about names. Your name.
I did. That's another thing that I can't shake, is that my name doesn't seem to mean anything. It's empty, it's hollow. Apparently now it's the name of a murderer.
Well, why does it feel empty?
Because I chose it. Nobody gave it to me. It doesn't have meaning.
No, there's meaning in choosing a name. There's meaning in liking a name. Sure, I talk about true names. Or the names these villagers get. They're the names of the elementals that they share their spirits with. Their names still have power. Because it's theirs, whether gifted or chosen. Now, that's not to say that the hollowness you feel is not from somewhere. The name is a strong thing. You believe in it and believe it is yours and rightfully yours. Come, sit for a moment. If you don't mind, I can use some of my magic. Dig a little deeper.
As he's talking, the hesitation, the reluctance that I was feeling goes away, and I'm like hanging on to every single word that he's saying, and I just like wide-eyed, just sit.
You see, as you sit, he begins to like none of you've seen this man do any magic. Like he could before this moment, you're like, this guy is bullshitting these people. Like he is just a like not necessarily a con man, but he is like confidently talking about everything he says and doesn't actually know what he's talking about. Other than the fact that you do know these people have an elemental in you. He does know that, some ritual to an extent. But he begins to trace sort of these lines in the air, and you see a white silvery line follows his finger, leaving this kind of glittering geometric shape. It is very angular, very sharp, made up of squares and diamonds and lines, straight lines, not circular in any way. And you see he kind of like grabs it and then holds it out and looks to you and says, "Place your palm atop it."
Is it safe?
Oh, it's
Nothing's
really
talking,
safe, but
I say it out loud, but I'm not talking to him.
okay.
But I'll hear his response.
Yeah. There's a little fear that boils up in you. Not fear like you're scared of what he's presenting you, but anxiety. Like you might upset someone.
Maybe. So I'll kind of like reach and then pull it back. But then put my hand on it.
Like right as you're about to put your hand on it, he does say, "You don't have to. Can be a lot to learn about power behind your name."
No, I want to know. I want to know.
It reveals a lot about you.
Yeah, fear's a plant.
Shut up! Stop listening. And that's Fern, not Fearn. Which is a perfectly beautiful name.
Yeah, shut up, Spruce.
Do you put your hand on?
I do.
His eyes turn white as he's learning your true name. So he thinks. He stops talking immediately. And then his eyes come back. It's only for a moment, the beat, that he stops talking. And his face goes neutral as he's extracting your name, or trying to. He looks to you, and his face is a little sad when he comes back.
What's the matter? What happened?
You. There's some strength behind your name, Saskia. The strength of you and your ambitions, your desires to do great things. Adventure, fame.
Right. But?
It masks a whole shape cut out of you. Whatever your name was before Saskia is gone. Not just in memory, but its power is gone. You no longer own that name.
How is that even possible?
And his hand closes around your hand. He pulls you closer to him. And his face gets deadly serious. I don't pretend to be able to judge or give you advice worth taking. But whatever you are dabbling in, whatever you've done, is not a trifling thing to give your name to those who ask for it. And he lets go of your hand and sits back. And that darkness in his face disappears, and a smile comes back. I told you it's not always great or good to peer beyond into what our names mean. But there's still strength in your chosen name. Take that, my warning.
Right.
Till the next time we meet.
Thank you. You've given me quite a lot to think about, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And he kind of just like becomes this quiet, or this lovely little old man again after he became kind of this harbinger for a moment.
Yeah.
And he just smiles at you as he walks you out the door to join your friends.
Are we going now? Are we going? Which way? Which way are we? No, I know which way we're going. We're going that now, right? We're leaving, right?
Are you drunk? Yeah, we're going this way.
Yeah, good.
What did that old man do to you?
Nothing. Let's go.
Did he drug you?
No,
All right.
no,
Okay.
no. Let's go. Come
All
on.
right.
Well, let's get the cart first, and then we can go.
Yep, easy enough to retrieve the cart. And you guys want to backpedal to the hideout, swim down, grab a little gem.
Sounds good.
Yes.
As you're leaving town, you can see like some people are waving at you as they can tell, kind of like, oh, this person they're leaving. You can see as you get your horses, Licia does kind of give you each kind of a handshake or even a hug. And she does give you all a basket of honey bread, sweet honey bread, with some dried meats. Bottle of wine.
Hell yeah.
Any void berry gem?
+5 temp HP for each slice of bread.
No voidberry jam, unfortunately.
I mean, Davin's got a cow, right? We can't like have bread and jam and all this stuff without cheese.
Yeah, we'll say there's a little cheese in it. This is generally overall just like a harvest basket.
Little charcuterie.
A little bountiful harvest
real heroes
basket.
Get a cow as a reward.
True.
So we can formally be known. So we can formally be known as.
Yeah.
Shaman.
Ivan's heroes.
No. Nope. No. Don't say it. If you say it, it makes it real.
So, it's not too far out of town to get to the farm, the abandoned farm. It's only a couple hours, and it's still quite early in the day, so you'll get there around a little bit before noon. And yeah, you're standing outside. Well, okay, let me rewind there for a moment as I remind myself what I need to describe for you when you approach. That entire lowland farm is flooded. Where the road descended down to the because the road was kind of a causeway that was up above by like 5 or 6 feet. The water is flooded up to the road and it is flooded so much that it's flowing over the road into the ditch on the other side. When you look at this, it looks like there was no farm there whatsoever, and you basically feel like you're looking at a overflowing pond that is now there.
Fuck. Well done, Bruce.
It wasn't me.
Well, you fucking made it, right?
No, I did not make this.
Didn't you reverse engineer it?
I added a button.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He basically added the timer, I think. I think that's
yeah. And I can make another one. I got the husks of another.
Just need a water lemon.
Or another elemental.
Oh.
Bum.
Bruce has been thinking. So yeah. So what do you want to do? Sass, you want to swim in there?
Yeah, before I do, though, the plan is just to go get the fucking crystal, right? Come out, just get... Do you want me to... I don't even know if that thing is still... Do I shut it off? Do I bring it out?
I don't-
Just bring the bag with you. Just
That
the
wasn't the
bag
question
over it.
I asked. The
Yes, get the crystal and bring it out.
Not the...
That's all
No,
we need.
no, not the crystal, the thing that makes the water. Do you want that? Is
The
it worth
font?
getting? Yeah, no.
I don't think.
No,
The
the
device
thing that I set.
used.
Yes.
Ah,
The device
that
is
thing
probably
is
destroyed.
exploded. Yeah, it's probably boomed.
Great, that's all I needed. Thank you. Take the bag and splash.
Whoa. I don't give up the bag so quickly. I think I should come with you. Can I get one of those potions, Bruce?
There you go. There's two of them.
Do you give him both the water breathing and the water?
Yeah.
Swimming.
Monk Strider.
Yep.
And Jacques
Alright.
still has it too. Great, because I gave you the ones.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Jacques-
think
That's
I
right.
actually dispersed them. Yeah, amongst one for everybody except for
Except me.
Saskia.
Yeah.
I did Jacques like chug them, and then you both realized that he didn't need to.
I think
That's
so.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot
I
about
think
that.
so.
Because as soon as he realized, like,
Whoops.
oh, it's not going to take us 5 minutes to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that definitely happened.
Okay. All right. So, yes, Fearn can chug these. They will allow you to join Sass down there. And the two of you begin to swim towards where you know the farmhouse to be. You swim in, and when you get there, you can see the farmhouse is largely like rooftops completely broken and floating around in this. It's actually how you so easily can find the farmhouse in the pond, as you can see all
Yeah,
the
it's kind of
floating
like a
wood.
little island, yeah.
Yeah, you can see like a bunch of floating wood and chunks of it. You get there, you have to dive down. And when you dive down, because you have to go, the foundation of the farmhouse is still there. Like some of the wood of the floor is ripped up, but you can see where that kind of entrance into the lower chambers is. You begin to swim down. Obviously, you're good to go at the pace that you want to go at. Both of you can breathe well enough. And because of Sass's special warlock abilities, can actually talk to each other underwater.
Cool.
So you swim down into there, and you both get into the antechamber where the puzzle was at first. And Sass, your heart sinks as you enter this space.
Mm-hmm.
Ian's
As you-
following along, not knowing.
Yeah, so,
where we're
like yeah,
going.
you follow her, and Sass stops for a moment. And Sass, you feel your
Floating.
heart sink, and then you start to see these hallucinations of the green aurora lines.
Is everything all right?
What the fuck do you want? Really? Right now? You can't just let me have one fucking moment to myself.
Sounds like she's talking to you, Fearn, when she says that.
I think Fearn does like hear this, but he also has been in this situation before. Where
Yeah, if
it
everyone,
sounds
you're
like
the
he's
best to
talking
know
him.
that she's not actually talking to you. Like, you're the one who would definitely know that.
Right, and Fearn says, "Come on, Sea Witch, block it out. We've got a job to do."
Did you fucking take my name? Is it you? Did you do it? Is that why I don't know remember what my name is?
I gave you a name.
I'm not talking to you, Fearn.
Ugh. I swim ahead of her, like not kind of sick of her shit.
Yeah.
I'll follow after because I know where it is, but I'm still talking to the hallucination.
Yeah, and you're getting no responses, but all of the hallucination is leading you back to where you already know there is the font.
Are you gonna make me drink the fucking water again? I'm already in the water. I'm basically drinking it now. I don't want to drink the water. How about that?
Here, and you hear her talking about drinking the water again.
Yeah, I don't
Granted, she
think
is
this-
saying, I don't want to drink the water, but she's saying, yeah.
I think after Fearn, Fearn's basically thinking to himself, you know, I'm gonna find this thing and then I'm gonna keep her away from it. Like,
Sass, do you point it out to
Yeah.
Fearn?
What's the aura doing?
It's all pointing towards where
Yeah.
you know the font is.
All right. I'm just going to I'm still muttering under my breath. I'm not drinking it. I'm not drinking it. I'm not drinking it. I'm not drinking it.
You feel an overwhelming urge to lick the crystal.
No. I did the magic crab water. That's all you're getting. That's it. I don't want to lick it. I don't. No.
Sea Witch.
No. What? Where's the bag? Put the crystal in it, please. She's gonna make me lick it. I don't want to.
You need to get a hold of yourself.
You need to put the bag over the crystal or I'm gonna lick the fucking crystal.
Just leave. I got this.
I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Put the crystal in the bag.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah, you can swim over to where she points out the crystal font, and once you're in this space, you can see it pretty easily. It has a faint glow to it, and when you get to it, you can see there's all of these kind of broken off crystals that are floating in the water. And
I imagine I'm taking a crowbar and I'm scraping off some of the smaller crystals that were still hung on to the larger one, and I'm kind of trying to pry it out of the ground or dig around it so that way I can actually lift the whole thing up.
Yeah, you could definitely absolutely do that. You do notice the water is a bit murky here from the residue of the crystals around. So even though you can breathe underwater, you're probably going to not want to while you're around this crystal space, just so you don't inhale any of the drug that's possibly still growing there, or drink it accidentally. But you can definitely, the crystal's not too hard to break off of it once you've cleared some of the crystals around it. You get it and you look at it, and the first thing you notice before you thrust it into your bag and get the hell out of there is one, it's pretty big. I mean, it's not so big that you'd have to hold it like this. It's probably it's probably 2 feet tall and then another 2 feet wide, roughly.
Gotcha.
Pretty heavy when you grab it. But the first thing you notice is this roiling storm underneath the sapphire surface, and you can see lightning strike inside of the orb, or inside of the shard. And that lightning strikes, and for a moment, just a quick flash, you see the same face that Davin saw in his dreams within the storm. And then you thrust it into the bag, and the two of you rush out. Sass, the aura follows the bag now. But as soon as you get out of the water, the aura's gone.
Oh, thank goodness.
And for the rest of you, you would eventually see kind of I imagine sloppily coming out of the water at the angle, just coming out from the pond, realistically, covered in muck, because it is a muddy, flushed all over the place pond at this point that just has a lot of particulate and mud floating in it. But they come up, Fearin, you have it in the bag of holding. Sass, as soon as you get out of the water, you feel all that weight lift off of you, and you have no more desire to lick the shard.
Good. Told you I wasn't gonna fucking lick it. Maybe I won't go back in the water now either. How would you like that? Maybe we talk about my name. Maybe you give me my name back, and then I'll go back in the water. And then I'll lick the fucking crystal for you.
What the fuck is happening?
What the hell happened down there?
It's fine.
Nothing. It's fine.
I think this is good.
It's fine.
Whatever Sea Witch is talking about, it seems like she's taking charge. It's the right move, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's still concerning.
Yeah, how about you don't talk about me like I'm not fucking right here? Yeah, it's concerning. Yeah, there's a voice in my head, all right? I talk to a voice in my head.
Well, sorry. I mean,
I wouldn't call the conscience, or
no.
I wouldn't talk to you like you're not there if you didn't ever talk about it with us. If you gave us some information about what's happening to you, Would that be better than me making guesses?
I don't want to talk about this right now. Eventually I will, but not right now. Let's fucking go.
I shrug and say, we got it. Let's get out of here.
Ale perhaps for a tavern. As you all get back into the cart, I imagine Septimus, as the designated driver, begins to drive it off. You reach... It's interesting. You get back to like you have to cross back through Billowgrass, and there's sort of this. There's only a few awkward moments where someone like you catch someone and looks at you, and you're sort of like, "Are they back? Are they staying? What?" A few children chase after the cart, thinking that you're back for a big celebration. But ultimately, you are really only there for 5 minutes as you go in, take a right, and head out. And it's you would have to camp out for this evening on the road because you're leaving around like 3:00 from Billowgrass technically. So you will have to camp out on the road, and then the next day you will reach the Badger and Coyote Tavern, first place where you can get a bed for the night. Before the 3.5-4 days that you'll have to travel to get back to Hyvin. And as you step inside and see the familiar face and the familiar smell of tobacco of Yarrick the Fairball, who looks to each of all of you and just says, "You're back. Just so happens the rooms are still available." And for a silver piece, you can get a room for the night. Or anyone wants to stay in the cart if they're disgusted by the accommodations. Can. And I think that as you finally get back onto the road, and can, if you so wish, enjoy a eternal stew, ever-flowing stew pot for dinner tonight. You can enjoy a semi-hot meal, and we'll pick up the journey next week as we finish up the road back to Hyvin and get to the next business. But you have closed the chapter on Billowgrass, and we'll open a new one next week.
Quest complete.
Bang, bang.
No, yeah, we got to get a reward first.
True. The quest is never complete until you turn it in.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it just takes up inventory space. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out with us. For tonight's episode, we will be back next week on Monday to see the next steps of this adventure. And then, yes, and we are going to be trying to do some Wednesday night streams. Now that I'm getting back into drawing maps and stuff. Don't give me that face, Stefan, I know.
We've all been there. We've all said we're going to do things.
We're all, yeah. And you've all been burned when you think you're going to watch me paint your minis on Wednesday or draw the maps or tell you secret lore on Wednesday. But it might happen this Wednesday. We'll see.
Hey, if you can stream, then I'll spend that time painting the ship.
Oh, that's a pretty good promise to get me there. All right. Thank you everyone who joined us. We'll see you then either Wednesday or even Sunday for the Sean Enchanted Power Hour.
Not
this Sunday. That's right, because Shannon is traveling up here, so we won't be able to do it.
And you won't see me for like a month.
Oh yeah, is that starting next week?
Well, yeah, we leave next Monday, and
that's right.
Then we don't get back till the 8th, which is the following Tuesday. Then I go to Puerto Rico, and I'll be gone the following Monday again.
So Mike is no longer a member of Paradise.
Oh no!
Septimus just dies on the road. No.
We've all been there.
No, we'll just have some more focused adventures. I know Steph also can't be here one day that week, so it'll work out. But for next week, it's gonna be the trio. As I'll just assume that Bruce and Septimus get into their own thing.
There you go.
And we'll go from there. All right, folks. But anyway, we will see you when we see you. We're gonna send a raid on over to. I had someone, but they are not online anymore. So we'll do our typical Queen's Court games. So I'll go and give them some love, and we will hopefully see y'all soon. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.